Disasters, both natural and man-made,
I'm so sorry.
disrupt hundreds of thousands of lives every year. You need to be prepared, because when disaster strikes, responders and relief organizations will try to help you, but they may need to focus their efforts elsewhere.
Don't let me die!
Before they get to you. Knowing what to expect and how to prepare makes any crisis more manageable and could save your lives. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and the surrounding area is susceptible to a range of natural hazards, from thunderstorms and harsh winter weather to floods, tornadoes, and even earthquakes, events that threaten lives and property. Often natural hazards can be predicted, as they tend to occur repeatedly in the same geographical locations and are related to weather patterns or physical characteristics of an area. Watches and warnings are commonly issued to notify communities and people of natural hazards. A watch is issued when conditions for a hazard are possible, and a warning is issued when the hazard either is occurring or has occurred. Prepare for the possibility during the watch period.
Real world.
If a warning has been issued, the event is already happening, so take appropriate action immediately. Let's look at natural hazards more closely. All thunderstorms are dangerous, and every thunderstorm produces lightning. On average, 300 people are injured, and 80 people are killed each year by lightning in the United States. To help protect yourself during a thunderstorm, remember the 30-30 rule. Go indoors if after seeing lightning, you cannot count to 30 before hearing thunder. Stay indoors for 30 minutes after hearing the last clap of thunder. On average, 100,000 thunderstorms occur in the United States each year, and lightning kills more people each year than tornadoes or hurricanes. During or after thunderstorms, flooding is a common hazard. Not all floods are alike. Some develop slowly over a period of days, and some can develop quickly, in just a few minutes and without any visible signs of rain. Although flash floods are not common in this area, knowing what they are and the possibility of one will help you gain an advantage. They often have a dangerous wall of roaring water that carries rocks, mud, and other debris, sweeping away most things in its path. Flash flooding is responsible for more fatalities, more than 140 annually, than any other thunderstorm-associated hazard. If you live in a low-lying area, near water, or downstream from a dam, know how to react in flooding situations. Even very small streams, creeks, dry stream beds, or low-lying ground that appears harmless in dry weather can quickly flood. Driving your vehicle across flooded roadways is unsafe and generally illegal. 2 feet of rushing water can carry away most vehicles, including sport utility vehicles and pickups. Tornadoes are nature's most violent storms and have been spotted in southwest Ohio and neighboring states. Spawned from powerful thunderstorms, tornadoes can devastate a neighborhood in seconds, as it did in the nearby community of Xenia a number of years ago. A tornado appears as a rotating, funnel-shaped cloud that extends from a thunderstorm to the ground, with whirling winds that can reach 300 miles per hour. Damaged paths can be in excess of 1 mile wide and 50 miles long. Some tornadoes are clearly visible, while rain or nearby low-hanging clouds obscure others. Occasionally, tornadoes develop so rapidly that little, if any, advance warning is possible. Tornadoes have been reported in every state in the U.S. and also in every season. Heavy snowfall and extreme cold can immobilize an entire region, especially in areas like southwest Ohio that normally experience relatively mild winters. Winter storms can result in flooding, closed highways, blocked roads, downed power lines, and if you get stuck, hypothermia. Here are some important points to remember. Driving during the first snow or ice, drivers usually aren't prepared for winter driving and forget to take it slow. Remember to drive well below the posted speed limit and leave plenty of room between vehicles due to reduced visibility. Watch for black ice. Roads that seem dry may actually be slippery and dangerous. Take it slow when approaching intersections, off-ramps, bridges, or shady areas. Remember, ice and snow, take it slow. Freezing rain and sleet are other winter storm hazards common to our area. Both make driving and traveling on foot very dangerous. Lastly, a blizzard warning means sustained winds of 35 miles per hour or greater, with considerable amounts of falling or blowing snow for 3 hours or longer. Knowing what a blizzard warning is will help you take the right precautions, as 70% of winter deaths related to snow and ice occur in automobiles. On the opposite end of the spectrum is heat. Heat kills by pushing the human body beyond its limits. When people exercise heavily or work in a hot, humid place, body fluids are lost through heavy sweating. Body temperature may keep rising, and the victim may suffer heat stroke or sunstroke. The body temperature can rise so high that brain damage and death may result if the body is not cooled quickly. Limit your exposure time during these conditions. If you must be outdoors or in a heated environment, wear loose-fitting, light clothing, take frequent breaks, and drink plenty of water. You should familiarize yourself with the heat index. It's expressed in degrees Fahrenheit and relates how hot it feels when relative humidity is added to the air temperature. Exposure to full sunshine can increase the heat index by 15 degrees. Two less common natural hazards in our area are earthquakes and wildfires. An earthquake and its after effects are some of the most frightening and destructive phenomena of nature. Although not common, an earthquake can occur. Ohio is on the edge of the New Madrid seismic zone, an area near Missouri that was site of the largest earthquake to occur in historical times in the continental United States. Several agencies in the area continually monitor seismic activity, including nearby Wright State University, so appropriate notifications of increased activity will be announced, if possible to predict. If you live in a remote area where flammable vegetation is abundant, your residents could be vulnerable to wildfire. Wildfires are usually triggered by lightning or accidents and spread quickly, igniting brush, trees, and homes. You should mark the entrance to your property with address signs that are clearly visible from the road. Keep your lawn mowed, leaves raked, and the roof and rain gutters free from debris, such as dead limbs and leaves. Also keep stacked firewood at least 30 feet away from your residence. An average of 1.2 million acres of U.S. woodland burns every year. A more recent type of hazard, the technological hazard, usually occurs with little or no warning. In many cases, victims may not know they've been affected until many years later. The number of these types of incidents is escalating, mainly as a result of the increased number of newly developed substances and the opportunities for human error when using these materials. Chemicals purify drinking water, increase crop production, and simplify household chores. But they can also be hazardous if used or released improperly, putting you and your community at risk. Most victims of chemical accidents are injured at home. During a hazardous material emergency, you may be directed to shelter in place. It's important to know where your designated shelter-in-place area is. Shelter-in-place means selecting a small, interior room with no or few windows and taking refuge there. It does not mean sealing off your entire home or office building. As we've covered previously in this video, knowing what to expect and how to prepare makes any crisis more manageable and could save your life. Please consider these 3 simple steps. Be prepared. Anticipate emergencies most likely to affect you and your family. Familiarize yourself with the signs of events that come without warning, and know the local advance alerts and warnings and how you will receive them. This simple step will help you implement step 2 and will also aid you during a crisis. Next, make a plan. Your family may not be together when a disaster strikes, so it is important to plan in advance how you will get to a safe place, how you will contact one another, how you will get back together, and what you will do in different situations. You will be better prepared to safely reunite your family and loved ones during an emergency if you think ahead and communicate with others in advance. And lastly, build a kit. A disaster supplies kit is simply a collection of basic items that you may need in the event of an emergency. Try to assemble your kit well in advance. You may have to evacuate at a moment's notice. This includes having food, water, and other supplies in sufficient quantity to last at least 72 hours. Local officials and relief workers will be on the scene after a disaster, but they cannot reach everyone immediately. You could get help in hours, or it might take days. Additionally, basic services such as electricity, gas, water, sewage treatment, and telephones may be cut off. So your supplies kit should contain items to help you manage during these outages. In conclusion, Benjamin Franklin got it right when he said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We urge you to go through the basic prep. It'll help you know what to do when disaster strikes.